What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Cash Bolin. Welcome back to the Bullspit podcast. Today we're going to recap the Wildcatter days in Oklahoma from this past weekend. We have some really intriguing storylines. We're going to touch on each team's failures and successes from week one, and also, give you a top three team performance, rider performance, and bull performance from this weekend. Of course, as always, please follow on TikTok at Bullspit Pod and YouTube and Spotify at Bullspit Podcast. Let's get to it. Starting out at number 3 in our top team performances from this past weekend, the Florida Freedom go 343.75. Unfortunately, it was against Carolina on day 2. Florida had nothing to hang their head about. They showed out in their first match of 2024. Caden Bunch started things off. 4 or 5 ended up making 8 seconds, and it could have been higher. John Kremberg took a low score after electing not to re-ride because Carolina had already clinched that match. Big things to come for Florida, and definitely one of the funner teams to watch in the PBR Team Series. Our number 2 performance from the weekend, Arizona Ridge Riders. They go 340 points. Then they add on a shootout win to total 431 3/4 points on day 1. The Ridge Riders proved me wrong right off the bat. If you remember, didn't include them in my top 5 last week. They go 4-5 on day 1 in their match versus Nashville Stampede. Then Eli Vastbinder, the former PBR Rookie of the Year, goes 91 3/4 atop of Ricky Vaughn in the first ever shootout round. I have a feeling they're going to be in that top 5 next week. Coming in at your number 1 spot for your team performances from the Wildcatter days, Carolina. Cowboys go 448.5 a point, go 5 for 5 on day 2 against Florida Freedom. Gold Buckle winners Cooper Davis, Dalen Swearingen, and Sage Kimzey all make it to the buzzer. Derek Calbova is loud in his return, and oh yeah, Adriano Salgado goes 93 to top things off. What a match. That was probably the best match I've ever seen in the PBR Team Series from one team. They're looking like they might be the favorites. Jumping into our top 3 rider performances from the weekend, Sage Kimzey at number 3. He goes 91 on Killer B on day 2. He's Carolina's closer, and he's continued his momentum from the UTB season. He put the exclamation point on Carolina's first win of 2024. I mean, do we expect anything different from Sage these days? Our number 2 rider performance from this past weekend goes to Eli Vastbinder. Goes 91 3/4 in a shootout round atop of Ricky Vaughn on day 1. Traded to Arizona in the offseason. He's a former PBR Rookie of the Year that was ready for the bright lights on Friday night in Oklahoma. Oh yeah, that's right. That used to be his home crowd. If Eli stays healthy, watch out. And our number 1 bull rider performance from this past weekend at the Wildcatter days goes to Adriano Salgado. 93 on top Flying Wired in day 2. Flying Wired is my favorite bull on the circuit right now. Owned by BS Cattle Company and Brandon Stewart. He is a spectacle every time out. Adriano Salgado was a worthy partner in this dance and really was the cherry on top for Carolina on Saturday. Now I'm excited to get into our top 3 bull performances from this past weekend. Real quick, you'll notice the cap, Rafter KL, and Kyle Lippincott. Check out that custom cap. It's a beauty. Shout out to Kyle. He's the one that really has gotten me into this. Stumbled upon his social media a couple of years ago. He's doing great things for the bull industry, really getting out a lot of facts, a lot of knowledge, teaching people. It's something that has really, really gotten me immersed into the PBR, seeing that bovine side of things and not necessarily the rider side of things. So shout out to Kyle, rafterkl.com. He's got the buckers. At number 3 of our top bull performances from this weekend, Mike's Magic goes 46 1/4, throwing off 2-time PBR champion Jess Lockwood on day 2. Another bull owned by BS Cattle Company and Brandon Stewart. They have some good ones in Stephenville. our number 2 bull performance from this past weekend goes to Big Bank, owned by Universal Pro Rodeo and Rachel and Dustin Powell. I'm sure you've heard of them before. Another bucker of theirs goes 46.25 on day 3 with Vitor Losnacki on the back. He also had a 45.5 on day 1 with Brady Randolph. Didn't do too much good for the Mavericks, but Big Bank showed out this weekend. And at number 1 of our top bull performances from the Wildcatter days, it's Manhater. I'm not the first one to tell you. I'm sure you've seen the video circling it around. Big guy goes 48.75 on day 2. Second highest PBR bull score ever. That sounds like it's pretty good. Yeah. Owned by Jen Clark and Gene Owen. He got a little rest off the offseason after dominating and winning the PBR Bull of the Year in May, So he's had some time off, and he came back out, and he was like a spring bunny. He was hopping. He was powerful. He was a man-hater. Let's get to the team discussion. After all, that's why we watch the PBR Team Series, right? Carolina Cowboys, they come out and make a statement in their first out of 2024. These guys should be the favorite after week 1. Sage Kimzey and Cooper Davis hold true with 2 rides apiece. The team is deep, though. Derek Alboba got in there. Don't forget about Adriano Salgado going 93. Dalen Swearingen, I think he won a PBR championship in 2022. Yeah, I think this team is for real. The swag that they have is off the charts. I think they're the only ones that wear their jerseys outside of their bull vest, and I like it. Look good, ride good, I guess. They got the hard work, they got the mental, they got the physical. 2-0 first weekend, and I'm gonna give them a grade of A+. Coming at you next with the Arizona Ridge Riders. I'm sorry, Arizona. I slept on y'all. They don't necessarily have a superstar, but they get everything out of everyone. Keyshawn Whitehorse and Nick Tetz show that they can be those pillars for Arizona. You throw in Eduardo Aparecido, and you have a contending product in Arizona. 2-0 in the first weekend, A+. All right, you'll have to excuse me on this next one if I choke up a bit. It's the Austin Gamblers. Disappointment to say the least for Austin. It's not DECCON 5 yet, though. The team has been the team to beat the past 2 seasons. They had a rough go of it. More the same from last season, relying on Dalton Castle and Jose Vitor Leme to be those guys. They really need 3, 4, and 5 to step up and be more consistent. If they don't, the panic could get real. Start the first weekend 0-2. I'm gonna give them a C+. I'm not quite there. I'm not giving it up. It's the first weekend. Let's chill out. Next up in the team discussions, Kansas City Outlaws. We start with Colton Hevelo. He's the real deal. Of course, they have Casio Diaz, but I think Hevelo really gets him to that next level. Winning match 1 against Austin, match 2, they take down cross-state rival in Missouri Thunder. They get contributions from Shando Batista and Brendan Eldred. 2-0 on the weekend. I'm going to go A-, and that's only because they really didn't have those over-the-top rides. Nothing too spectacular, but they held their own and they got the job done. Next up, let's go across the state of Missouri and the Missouri Thunder. They have 3 matches this weekend, going 1-2. Opening night win over the expansion team Mavericks, and losses to the Rattlers and the Outlaws. The Thunder still need a piece or two to break through. Briggs Madsen was a bright spot, going 8 on Friday's shootout and covering again on Sunday. Madsen is a factor in Team Series especially. He's shown that before. They go 1-2. Bigger and better things to come from them, hopefully. I'm going to give them a B- for the week. Let's talk about the reigning champs and the Texas Rattlers. They get blanked on Friday, and all hope is lost. But then, Saturday, they dominate. 261.25 to 0. They have the leadership. They have the riders. Looking for Cody Jesus to come back. I haven't heard reports. I'm not even sure, honestly, if he's injured or what the deal is there. But they're going to be a thorn in everybody's side. That they have the guys, that have been there, done that. They're not going to give up. They're not going to roll over. 1-1 on the first weekend. I'm just going to give them a B. I expect better things out of them, but then again, I could also see worse. Not really sure. Don't say I didn't tell you so about the Florida Freedom. They are fireworks waiting to happen. Probably my favorite team to watch. They bring the juice, and it all starts with Paulo and John Crimber. The young guns, Caden Bunch and Elzamar Jeremias, and they deliver. Everyone all out on effort. Thiago Salgado and Alex Arcada to round things out. This team gets their first win Sunday, as well as the shootout round. Yes, they lost to Carolina, but put up 343 and 3/4 points. That's going to win you 9 out of 10 matches. They go 1-1 on the first weekend, but I'm giving them A-. I think things only go up from here. Next up, the Nashville Stampede. Nashville looks like they're still trying to find their groove. They open up Friday with a solid outing of 255, but lose to Arizona. They do pick up a win against New York, but fall on Sunday. Mason Taylor's been their strong point. He showed up this weekend. Silvano Alves is always your consistent closer. We really need to look for Jess Lockwood or Alan De Souza to make that impact and soon. Justin McBride will have them ready in Georgia for the Duluth, Georgia Team Series event. And 1-2 over the weekend. I'm going to give them a B-. They still did put up 255 against Arizona. They didn't look terrible. They just got to get it all together. Next up is expansion team, the New York Mavericks. New York had odds stacked against them. Injuries. I believe they have visa issues with some of their team members. This team will look a lot different in a month's time. Cody Lostro is a no excuses guy. They will be better. 0-3 on this weekend. I'm going to give them a D-. But I hope they get all their team and really can come at their next matchups full strength. The card is definitely stacked against them right now. Let me tell you what, J.B. Mooney knows how to make an entrance. First year head coach of the Oklahoma Wildcatters. You're at the Wildcatter Days, Friday night, first match. You come out and you beat the defending champion Texas Rattlers. Clay Guyton and Court McFadden showed up this weekend. They lose a heartbreaker on day 2 to the Ridge Riders. 1 second away from having that, I think. What do y'all guys think? He had it, right? You just got complacent? I think he fell off at 7 seconds. Sunday, they bounce back. Go up against the Austin Gamblers after losing a heartbreaker the night before. They're ready. JB has them ready. These guys are riding for JB. They don't want to disappoint him. Did you expect anything different? I'm gonna have to take a nap after this weekend, packed full of excitement at the Wildcatter Days. Unfortunately for us, we don't have another PBR Team Series event until July 26th through 28th at the Duluth Days in Duluth, Georgia. So a couple weeks break here, but I'm gonna keep putting out content. Please like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments the best team and riders from this weekend. Give me any comments, any suggestions. I'm looking to grow with you guys, and of course, let's keep bull spitting. See y'all next time.